it drops this down and pulls it straight to me. Bam, I put it right on top of myself, and then I can turn this around for a super accurate, super efficient 70. And you can see I'm right where I need to be. And what I did also was reduce that. Now it's increasing. So there's ways to adjust it by pointing straight up or straight down. Oh, anyway, welcome to Kerbal Space Program 1.8.1. We just achieved orbit in the first video, and now our next step is to evaluate our fuel situation. Looks like we got a lot. Wasn't that a fun evaluation? Anyway, I mean, we at least have to look. You know, every pilot needs to do his ground check before he takes his airplane off, but sometimes it's more of a walk around, and sometimes it's a 200-point inspection. It depends which situation warrants it. I mean, my goodness, sometimes you're checking for fuel leaks and oil. And everyone, oh my God, Cessna owners need to make sure their wheels are bolted on. I've seen far too many videos of students losing their wheel and having to come down and one wheel and one post. Anyway, it's okay. It's not that bad. And if you damage the aircraft and it's a rental, you'll have insurance. And it'll be your instructor's fault if it happens to you as a student. My God, I just think that even making that statement's ridiculous. So here we are on the ascending node 1.1. I'm sorry, descending node 1.1. So what we need to do is find the triangle without the extra stuff, without the targeting reticle, and 1.1, and let's just change that. 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay, if you can't achieve 0, which I could, and sometimes I like to point it where I think we're going to end up in the end. Like right there, I think the moon's going to travel here. We're going to circle around and we're going to meet up about right on that point. I have to make sure I'm still at 0. So the next thing I do, and I can do this now, is line up with the moon here. It won't change that much. Set this up. Add maneuver. If you want to, you can come around to this descending node before you set up this maneuver, and it may be more accurate. We may do that anyway. Just redo it at that point for more accuracy. But this is pretty accurate. So you can see our closest point just past our apoapsis, and then we somehow come back. So now if you grab this, you can adjust this around too. And put that a little like before. And then grow. So they meet each other in an interesting point. And that's collision. Did you see collision? It's where the periapsis disappears. And that's before, not after. That's a little overshooting. And then you can come in on the reverse directional orbit. But I'm just going to go with that. Maybe. What looks clean. All right. So let's just, 4 kicks, come spinning around to here. Now let's just go watch our craft. I made this craft with a larger gas tank. That was part of my rollover problem. I have lander legs. I'm not really aerodynamic efficient with this flat top. I've got this big octagonal landing mechanism, lander craft. This thing's just kind of an aerodynamic mess. But we're actually going to be looking for that at the end of our warp, which I think we've come there. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to scrap this completely because conditions have changed, I'm sure. And what we're going to do is line this up. Remember how we came around the horizon and just started to take off? Well, this happens to be about right here with our apoapsis. And you can kind of see that our way is just a little behind. So I'm just going to back that up just a touch to here. And then I'm going to make an adjustment and put my periapsis on like 20 or 50, something like that. That's a very nice shape right there. So let's go with that. And we have a burn in 1 minute and 34 seconds. Or I'm sorry, 3 minutes and 13 seconds. Now you can just see our gimbals just got away from us. I don't know if you saw that when I made an adjustment. We're in what we call a gimbal adjustment here. So sometimes when you set it like that on the plane or like that, your gimbals just take off. So you need to flip it around 180 degrees. Or you need to flip it 45 degrees. See how I'm trying to pull one direction now? So anyway, just put it on this. Now, another thing can be is that our reaction wheels are fighting each other. So turn your reaction wheel off, disable the toggle. Disable toggle. Toggle torque. Disable. And now I just have a little internal controller that has torque right now. I'm going to go ahead and speed up the time, get us closer to our burn time, which is about 45 seconds. Okay, that's about now actually. So what we do is we just put it on our mark and we go full burn. Just make sure it stays there. For some reason I'm having a little trouble with my ship. We'll be okay as long as we stay in there. I'm at full throttle now and I'm watching my 1 minute and 14 second burn execute. Now we could actually fine-tune that a little better and try to get the smallest burn possible, like 55 seconds, 45 seconds, whatever the second on your burn is, because you're wasting gas. And I can see we got a lot of gimbal in that engine. I think we might be better off gimbal free, turning our gimbal off. Alright, now that I just turned that like that and it's rocking now. So what I'm going to do is watch here and watch my countdown. 30, 29. I also need to make sure I have gas, which it looks like I'm burning pretty efficiently and have a large enough tank. I'm not overly concerned. I am monitoring at 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, mark. Alright, I got a green light on my mark. So we're going to go look at reality now. And I'm going to turn this actual off. And if we need to adjust right here, we can. What I mean by that is just a little shot of gas. We're going to put ourselves down to 50. Or lower. $30,000 meters. Very good. Checking fuel. We won't really know, but we can achieve orbit, but I'm not sure if we can achieve our landing or staging of landing. So let's just go ahead and advance ourselves. We're not a scientific vessel at this stage. We would be if we landed. Alright, 10 minutes into it. This is probably the most important video. If you haven't watched any of the others, you should probably watch this one. If you're just only curious about what this stuff's all about, you should probably watch this one too, because everything we learned along the way was a culmination to get here. Now we could be cleaning up little tidbits and itsy bitsy remnants of science that we may have forgotten, or additional mystery goo. We need retro rockets to slow our speed to achieve orbit. You can see if we do nothing, we're going to get thrown off into this giant orbit around the sun in our planetary system. We don't want that, so let's just go ahead and slow ourselves down enough to just stay here. And we'll spin around this planet until we're ready to go home. And I'm at 30 now, so I might as well go down to like something like 9. And that's on the periapsis. So I'll go to 9. 83 is fine. Then I'm going to spin around here. And 20. This is a 24-minute time acceleration. It's trying to get me to collect some kind of science. Mystery goo 30, pressure scan 36, temperature scan 24. Let's go ahead and stop our time. I'm inclined to do that. Where's all my stuff? Is it in here? Oh, here we go. Pressure scan. Log pressure data. I'll do that for 36. Log temperature. Oh, that's right. You know, remember last time I said we lost that data? And then what else do we have? An EVA report. I can't even believe it. Let's send the engineer. Wow. Not only did he get a cum, but he got a... See, that... We must have been over a special crater at that moment in time. Let's put him back in before we forget. Sometimes if your lights are off, you'll forget. So let me turn this light on. And then I'll show you. When he goes EVA, bam, we got a light on him. We can see him, and then he can turn his lights on too. So that was the U button. But let's board him anyway. Okay, so now he's inside. And we may have forgot. Oh, we're right there for our burn. Let's put the other side on 6. What did we decide on the other mission? 54 is our, where we clip a mountain. Or was it 56? I think it was 56. So we'll put it on 57 so we don't clip the mountaintop, which is right in this zone anyway. It's the canyon on this side of the crater. So we should be attempting a landing, let's say, right about here. Now, the fuel is terrible, so we may only be able to stage the landing and then return to orbit. I'm not sure when I get credit for staging a landing. I've always just completed it. My concern here is fuel. Like, I think I can land, but am I going to be able to get us home? You know, in the event of new information, I'd rather fly another craft up here to give me gas and then attempt this mission and turn it into a two-part. Or if I can just get back into orbit, I can get a gas can up here to basically come dock with me and go home. And they might want us to dock 2 vessels next anyway. So I'm about 7,000 above sea level. Let's look above actual level 27. And if we look on the map, I'm coming in right over this crater. And a really nice place to land is right here in this little hand dot. But this is a really bad place to land. So you either need to come down now, or you need to wait till you clear the crater. Of course, if you come down here, it's going to take just a little more gas because you're just a little deeper. And okay, so we're staging a landing. One thing we realize is we're at 551 meters per second. That seems to be our orbital speed now. What are they squawking about? EVA report. Let me check. Moonsey's crater, I'll take it. I'm going to board, and then we're even going to transmit this one because we can get 100% of our data. So see the antenna pop up? Transmission done. It folds back. And we just picked up our science. Alright, now. This is the one we're trying to do. Land a vessel on the surface of the moon to achieve this goal. They didn't say we have to bring it home. But I hate to strand astronauts. Okay, so see how we're coming up over this little thingy here? This is a ridge from an impact crater. And we need to kind of clear that. And then almost any time we can gas it. I don't like that angle. Let's check our future. Okay, as soon as we pass over this crater, we need to hit it hard. And that's the little crater with the dip right here. This is our zone. And we're 2,000 feet from it. So here we go. And if this is a failure, we'll probably just crash into the moon and kill 2 Kerbonauts, and then try to come back, or it could kill my whole video series. So what I'm trying to do is put this down to 0. See me slowing down, slowing down, slowing down. I'm in this little crater zone between all this stuff. I can kind of control that. 135. Checking my gas. It's way too low, but there's nothing I can do at this point. We're committed. Point of no return. 20, 0. 5 is close enough to 0, so I get sucked into my gravity well, and it's starting to pull me down. And I want to open my landing gear. I want to turn this light off, turn these lights on. Now, as I go down, this is increasing, so I need to slow that down. So I'm at 1,300 feet away. Now, we used to not have this button. I need to slow this descent down. 100 feet a second is no good. You don't want to crash in. 35, 34. Now you see I'm running the gas pretty hard trying to get that down. So we'll get to a point where we're going to have to adjust the gas. Like I'm going to start adjusting now, so my march is slower. See, that's very slow now. 5, 4. Now I don't want to hit it much faster than doing 7, and I don't want to run out of gas. Look at us. We're about out of gas. We're in the midst of a rescue mission, guys. We're like Neil Armstrong. Look at us. 8.8, 8.7. So now I zero in on my shadow. Okay, if you kiss your shadow, you die. 8.4, 8.3. I've got a new shadow. That's when the shadow changes. Gas it a little. No, go back, go back, go back, go back, go back. Okay, shut her all down and crash. Alright, so what happened is we now have 14 points of gas, but we have to try to get this thing upright. And what I need to do is turn my torque back on. Remember, I had it disabled. Turn this torque on, toggle torque. I can go ahead and turn the gimbal off, it won't matter. Gimbal free, gimbal locked. So let's go ahead and stand her upright. And don't tip it. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we have now officially landed on the moon. And I'm going to go ahead and extend my antennas, both of them. Look, the signal's up. Let's go ahead and make it crystal clear. These antennas are cumulative. Do I have positive charge on my solar panels? Alright, we're marooned on the moon. But we made it. Look, explore the moon. So, first thing we're going to do is a crew report. Alright, we'll even transmit that because we get it all. We can see how fast our batteries will recharge too. See, they're already recharging. Already recharging. Alright, so my engineer can EVA, collect the data. This was from our earlier experiment. And he can board. Alright, let's just turn that off. And if this rocket falls over, it wasn't meant to be, right? So I told you we had weak lander legs, so it's leaning on its spring. So we're a little bit unstable here. Entering and exiting the craft will cause it to buffet, but we can actually take our data now. We've already done our crew report. I'm going to let Jebediah EVA the top. On board. Alright, so he transmitted the crew report immediately. I transmitted the EVA report immediately. I'm going to take him back outside and take the data for pressure, take the data for temperature. On board. Now we've got data stored in both the above and below capsule. We need to do our mystery goo. We'll collect that. Now the engineer, I'm going to put him back outside. Collect the data. board. All right, so the thing we need to do now is get a surface sample. And do we have a thing that says plant a flag on the moon? Okay, we do not. So if I can get a surface sample from up here, I will. And we just basically say take a surface sample. This way I don't have to get back in the craft. Now the reason I don't want to touch the ground of the moon is because then I have to use my retro rockets. Try to get back into this door. Fly up and attach. Right now I don't have to do that. I just have to wait for the rescue mission or burn all my gas, all 17, and die trying. Because I don't have enough gas to get back to 551 and back into orbit of the moon. So I basically need something, and I guess that's going to have to be the next mission. But hey, we've actually created the whole science set series. We're done with my goal, which was to get them to the moon. Now I didn't get them home alive, so I feel bad, but you saw the steps, you saw what it took. Now you just kind of have to perfect it, and you will fail a few times. Isn't that a beautiful view? So I'm going to turn this off, and we're just going to look around. You go inside and look up. I can see the stars. Oh, actually, look, I can see the surface of the moon. I changed my view, and there we are from our lander perspective. And here we are back outside. Turn the lights off if I want. Conserve electricity, plus we don't need to really light it up. We're not doing any groundwork on the dark side. The good thing I do have going for me is I have this docking port here, so the ship that comes to get them will either need to be a rescue ship or it will need to be a fuel transport. Now, I already knew this was going to happen before I did it. I did it on purpose, but the smart thing to do would have been to leave myself in orbit, send gas, and then do this with a full tank of gas. And then go back up, maybe top it off, and get all the way home. So right now we're basically marooned on the moon, but if I continue this series, and I'm thinking of doing a whole rebuild, uninstall, reinstall my game, get rid of all the mods, come back pure stock, maybe just one mod to help me learn, or like a bookcase reference system or an encyclopedia. But that's kind of my goal if I don't abandon it. But this could be the last mission of Perks. But we did. We landed on the moon, and we did it in, 4 missions? Anyway, I consider that a success, and as always, thank you everyone for watching, and have a great day, and I wish you and your families all the luck in the world, all the countries in the world protecting this blue marble. We're all for that. This is Paced X, Pilot and Space Training, Extreme or Experience. Have it your way. Have a good day.